Hey, all, welcome back to the Fire and Water Cooking Channel. I am Darren, of course, and today I'm going to do a restaurant-style brisket, ones that you would get in any of your Texas-style barbecue restaurants. I'm going to show you just how they do it, including holding it in a steam oven for a few hours after it's cooked. So we're going to cook this today, we're going to serve it up tomorrow, but I'm going to show you just how the restaurant guys actually cook these briskets. I'll be right back.
Smoking, grilling, getting hot and hotter, sous vide and chilling from fire and water.
All right, all, like I said, we're going to show you how to do a restaurant-style brisket today. It's not a competition style. It's what you would get if you go to any professional restaurant that serves brisket. You know, you can go to Franklin's, you can go to any of the top barbecue restaurants anywhere in Texas or anywhere for that matter. If they're doing it right, they're going to do it this way. Simple seasonings, simple cooking style. It's going to be pretty much the quality of the meat and how they actually finish it and let it kind of finish itself that makes it, you know, super, super good. So first of all, we're going to get this out of the pack. I'm going to show you just how well we're going to trim it. We're not going to trim it for a competition, which would be totally different. We're going to trim it for what you want to do at home or if you were serving it in a restaurant. So we're not going to shape it or do any kind of weird stuff. Just a nice, easy, simple trim to make it look good. I'll be right back. Hi guys, before we get to trimming the brisket, I'm going to show you how I'm going to cook this today. I am going to cook it on the Kamado Joe Classic 3. The Classic 3 compared to the 2 and the Classic 1, it's a lot deeper. It's a taller, so it's deeper, and it comes with the Slo Roller with it. And what the Slo Roller does, it actually works as an indirect cooking device. But what happens is the smoke kind of comes up and rolls around the top of the brisket and then back out. So the way it's designed, a Harvard physics class kind of designed this thing. Kamado Joe bought it from him, and that's the history of the Slo Roller. So you can look it up on the Kamado Joe website that I link below, but it actually works really good when you're doing these low and slow smoke cooks, because it keeps the smoke in the chamber longer and moving around that brisket to get that smoke flavor. So that's how we're going to do it today. Nice low and slow on the Kamado Joe Classic 3 with the Slo Roller. All right guys, I'm going to use my grill gun here to just aim it right in the middle of the charcoal pile and get that going. Usually only takes about a minute and a half, and then I'll take my pecan blocks and stack them right around that area, and then it'll start catching. All right guys, I'm going to use my Tyfer sink today to monitor the internal temperature of the meat and the temperature of the smoker. I got the Kamado Joe 3 coming up to temp. We're going to cook it right around 250 today. I'm going to leave it right there, not any higher. It might go up to 260 or so. I don't want to go much higher than that. I don't want to be at 225. It'll just take too long and it's not necessary. So about 250 to 260 is where we're going to be keeping that temperature. I got my pecan wood in there. I got my lump charcoal. It's coming up to temp. Probably take it about 30 minutes or so to get up to that steady temperature. But that's going to give me time to trim this thing up. I'm going to season it up with my all-purpose black garlic and my black garlic and coffee seasoning. Guys, if you haven't tried this combination on brisket or any kind of beef ribs, steak, roasts of any kind, chuck roasts, burnt ends, try it out guys. It's really good. That black garlic and the coffee all together with the salt and onion powder and all the other ingredients in here, it's perfect. I swear to God. So we're going to use that to season it up. But first I got to trim this, so I'm going to get this out of the pack, put it on my pan here, and we're going to get ready to go. So, all right guys, so the trim on this is going to be fairly easy since it's we're going to be cooking this in the Kamado where the heat source comes from below. We're going to have this fat cap down, so it's going to protect the meat from drying out and getting too crunchy. So we're going to leave most of this fat cap on the top on here. Just going to trim a little bit where it gets really, really thick. And I'm going to take those big chunks out that are in between the two muscles in the decal area. So that's pretty much all I'm going to trim, just because the heat's going to come from the bottom and I don't want it to affect the rest of the meat. So we cut this big chunk out here in the decal, and that's because that's not going to render, and it's just going to cause problems with it cooking evenly. And that's it. We're going to trim it up and it's ready. So that's it, guys. I'm not even going to bother with the grandma skin at all, because I want it to help protect the meat since we're going fat side down. All right, let me get my seasonings over here, and we're going to show you just how we're going to season this bad boy up and get ready to get it on the smoker. I'll be right back. All right, guys, my smoker's just climbing past 200, so we're going to go ahead. I'm going to put the all-purpose black garlic seasoning on first. That's got the big pieces of salt on here, pepper, the black garlic powder, a little bit of onion powder, a little bit of other seasonings in there. I'm going to go ahead and put a coat of the black garlic and coffee. This has got some rosemary, thyme, coffee, black garlic, salt, pepper, a little onion powder as well, some other herbs, but that coffee is going to give this brisket a nice flavor to it. Check out these seasonings below, guys. Once you try them, this will be your go-to for brisket and beef ribs, roasts, chuck roast, steak, pretty much anything you cook that's beef. This combination is amazing. So there you have it, guys. We're going to let this sit for just a little while our smoker continues to get up to temp, but that's what you're looking at right there. That's going to turn out perfect. I'll be back when we're putting it on the smoker. All right, all the smoker's up to temp, it's ready to go. This brisket is a little longer than some, and it's going to have a problem fitting on the Kamado Joe. So I got a little rack here I'm going to put right here in the middle, and we're going to lay the brisket across that, and it's going to give me another 2 inches on each side. I have my probes in. I'm going to put one on each side in the thicker part of the meat, just so I can monitor 2 parts of the brisket from the internal. But that's it, guys. We'll come back in about 2 hours to spritz it, make sure it's getting moisture. All right, guys, it's been about 2 hours, getting a good looking bark on there and looking a little bit dry, so we're going to go ahead and spritz it. I'm going to spritz it a few times just to attract some more smoke to it, just during the life of the cook. But looking good. All right, guys, just want to show you. That's what the thermometer on the Kamado Joe lid is saying. Been there for a little while. My internal temp on both of my probes has been at right around the 163 mark for a good hour now. So that's the stall. So to me, it's time to go ahead and pull these, or pull my meat. It's looking pretty good as far as the bark goes. I think we're okay to go ahead and wrap this now. And remember, the fat side's down. We're going to keep the fat side down after we wrap it. So I'm going to go ahead and place it in my paper with this side down, and then we'll flip it over after we fold it up. Put the fold side on this here. But all right, guys, so there you have it. That's how my wrap is. I'm going to go ahead and pull it off. I got my beef stock. You can use any kind of beef stock you want. I'm going to use my bear claws here. All right. Go ahead and flip it over. is my fat side. And we're going to make sure that fat side stays down because it's still protecting. I don't want any burns, ends, and it looks so good. It looks pretty good so far. Pour some of this beef stock. Pour it right over the fat side here. Give me a pool. I am using paper, so I'm not putting a whole ton of this, guys, in here. Just enough to kind of add some moisture. Not a lot, because it is going to come out since we are wrapping it in paper. I'm going to go ahead and make sure. Nice. Wrap job here. Make sure you use 2 good sized pieces. Make it nice and tight. And as even as possible. I think that's going to be just fine. I'm going to put this back on with the fat side down. Close it up. We're just going to let that steam in there till we get it up over the 200 Fahrenheit range. All right, guys, it's just past 8 o'clock, so it's been on there good, almost right at 10 hours. So it just hit 201, and I think I'm going to go ahead and take it off because, like I said, we're not going to dig into this right away. We're actually going to, yeah, it's already at 202 internal in the deepest part, so it's going to actually sit in a holding oven overnight for a good probably 13 hours. They don't quite hold them that long in the restaurants, but they do hold them for a good 8 hours at a little bit hotter temperature. I'm going to hold mine at 148 degrees with about 86% humidity, which is going to keep it moist. It's going to keep it at that 148 degree temperature where it's going to continue to kind of break down, but much slower than it would be at this 250 degree temperature. So it's going to still retain a lot of moisture while it's still continuing to break down. So all right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get this off the smoker right now so you can see. I'm going to use some pot holders. I'm going to keep it in the butcher paper and shut that down. Put it right on my pan. Close this up. Close the vents. That'll be good for the Kamado. That'll shut the heat off. But as you can see, the butcher paper soaked all the way through with the fat and moisture. So I'll show you what I'm going to do with it. I'll be right back. All right, guys. So here is my Anova Pro. This is a combi oven. So it does have several functions, one of them which is it does have a sous vide function where I can cook or hold stuff at a low temperature. You see this is sitting at 149. I'll bring it down to 148. 85% humidity, so it's going to be a very humid and warm environment in there, and it's going to sit there in that holding oven till about noon tomorrow, about 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So it's going to sit in there a good another 12 or 14 hours. So, and in that time, it's going to continue to break down, get more tender. It's going to stay moist because we're not going to overcook it. It's just going to be holding at that 149 degrees. So we're going to have a little bit of carryover cooking since I just took it off the grill. Their smoker, so it'll probably get up to right around that 204, 205, and then it'll start dropping down. And but the humidity and the low temperature in there is just going to keep it right at my serving temperature, and it's going to continue to break down and get all nice and good. And you'll see when we take it out tomorrow afternoon just how good it turns out. But holding ovens, that's what barbecue restaurants do. If they use them right, you'll have an amazing brisket. So, all right guys, I'll show you what I'm going to do. I already had a pan here ready for it. And get a pan that's got a rack on it so it's not sitting in juices. And one of the things that this oven does come with is an internal probe, so I actually can measure the temperature of the brisket while it's in the oven as well. You can use that probe to cook to a temperature if you wanted to, but I'm using it just pretty much to measure the temperature of the food. That's all I'm really going to do. Just make sure it stays where I want it to stay. You see, it's shutting off the alarm because it's saying it's over the temp. We'll just see where that temp lands. See, it's over 200, so that's fine. You'll have a little bit of carryover cooking, like I said. It'll probably get up to about 205, but then it'll start to drop, and it'll stay right at that 148 for a long time and continue to break down and turn into a really amazing brisket. So this is a holding oven, guys. It's a perfect way to finish a great brisket restaurant style. I'll let you see it in the morning and we'll take a test taste. So thanks for watching. I'll be back. All right, guys. So it's been about 14 hours now since this has been sitting in my convection steam oven. It's a holding oven. So you can tell the paper's all soaked with fat and moisture. 100% humidity. I turned it up to so right at about 145 or so for the whole time. So we're going to go ahead and take this out and we're going to slice it up and just show you just how well it came out. Well, there we go. I think we're ready to go here. I'm going to go ahead, just do some slices here. So you can tell that knife goes right through it. This is from the flat, of course. Show you just how moist and tender that is. Pulls right apart all the way. Still super juicy. Wow. That's the kind of stuff you're going to get served in a restaurant. No toughness at all. Everything's seasoned perfect. The bark's perfect. Nice and juicy. That holding oven really makes it to where you can produce a really perfect brisket every single time, guys. Don't have to really hold it that long. If you hold it for like 7 or 8 hours, you're going to be fine. But it's perfect. All right, I'm going to get it sliced up and we're going to eat it. Thanks for watching. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram. Make sure you follow us on our YouTube channel, both for Fire and Water Cooking and Fire and Water Travel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. And check out Fire and Water Cooking Edible Creations down below. See you on the next one.